All right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, a good evening to you all. What's up? What's up? Welcome to yet another episode of the Talk Track. As per usual, my name is Roy. I'll be your host for the evening. You can call me the Alchemist, aka Kamada, aka Nofachi Neviensi, aka Wachawa Giramaniu, aka. But the AKAs will come. The AKAs will come. So the Talk Track is an individual production of the Kara Junkies. It's produced, edited, and sound mixed by and shot by Morris, aka Moro Moro, aka he's now Mukono Mbili. Bilateral DJ. Oji Kara Junkie, the father of the Karabai. The Talk Track, as usual, is hosted at Plot 8B Gabula Road. We're at the Barrow House, the unofficial home of the Kara Junkies. Shout out to Mama Barrow right there, Rowena, who has been with us. I think every episode of the Talk Track, she's never missed one. She's consistent like that. So shout out to you and for giving us the opportunity to do what we love at your premises. She's drinking beer from a huge car. Let me tell you, even if you hide the beer there, we shall not think it is healthy. It is still unhealthy. You take it openly. Take it openly so that we all know. We do not own any of the rights to the music you're going to be hearing playing in the background. Yeah, and also the opinions presented by the participants of the Talk Track do not in any way represent the opinions of any entities affiliated with the Talk Track, that is the Kara Junkies or the Bar House. These are opinions presented from lived experience by our participants. However, if you would like to to give feedback, to leave a comment or, engage in conversation and you've not been able to join us today, please check us out on our socials at Talk Track UG on YouTube. Feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment. We can always get back to you. And you can check us out also on Mixcloud. Yeah, at Barrow House Radio. You can get episodes of the Talk Track audio version. You can also get our playlists from the Retro Friday as well as the Saturday Q lists. Yeah, so it's one-stop shopping presented to you by the Kara Junkies. We take care of all your musical and intellectual needs in one place. Are you backbiting me when I am right here? You people, you have no respect. So a lot has happened this week. I don't know. I've not been able to pay attention to everything. The thing that stood out for me though, Baby Gloria got married. Yeah, it was a very lavish ceremony. I saw. Everyone is getting. Ugandan artists have all just decided it's about that time where we must tie knot, because I think joining the group also is Erin and Tale. But Black is also going. Hey, but Black went. Mama people are saying that they have faith, they have hope. The Lord, one man's what?
One man's poison. One man's poison.
Is another man's what?
Me.
Now, let me tell you something, you guys. Sorry. By the way, most of the good girls, be the younger, they stay and look. It's not misery, but there's this thing they've told us growing up. Those lies of you must this, you must that. Half of the people are still getting married. Not all.
But most of them. They are not this.
Then someone says, that is what I want.
They are not this thing and that thing.
You can't even take a walk. You can't chill with your friends Kalito because you want to be a wife material. Then you shall be the young and go station in there. Your wife material. You go out there.
How will they see you if you're in the house?
And then when you reach there and they see you and you choose that you don't want, it's also okay.
Also this weekend Ginger was home, specifically Bugembe. I think the Chabazinga Stadium. Ginger was home to the Chabazinga Sevens. I think it's the 4th or maybe 5th circuit of the rugby sevens. And shout out to the Walukuba Barbarians who emerged circuit champions. So the trophy stays in Ginger. It's not crossing the bridge. So shout out to the Walukuba Barbarians who dispatched of the Ginger Hippos in the quarterfinals, if you can believe it, that were played earlier today. So shout out to Walukuba Barbarians, homegrown Ginger team. Shout out to the Nile Rapids as well, because they took the women's sevens, also a Ginger team. So yeah, Ginger teams are doing big things in rugby. A shout out to them, special shout out to them. For the Manchester United fans, your prayers have been answered. Andre Onana will be sent out on loan for a season. I don't know. I think I don't know if it's a Belgian team or a Turkish team. It's called, I can't even pronounce the name, but he's going that side. So Manchester United, it is okay. I think it's surrounded by. It is okay. This is for the Manchester United fans who will watch. Okay, so today when I posted about the talk track on my status, I think for those that saw my status, you read the caption, and we're going to be tackling a serious one today. Okay, I don't know if it's like serious, but I think it's worth having a discussion over, because I think for everything that we do, we skirt around it, we touch on it, but no one ever really wants to go into detail of how things stand or how they truly believe about this topic. So before we started, I think Maurice read it, and I think I made a mistake of asking, is monogamy a hoax? Because now everyone is just saying monogamy is a hoax. I should have just put there, what are your views on monogamy? Because everyone is now just saying, monogamy is a hoax. But historically speaking, I think human mating systems have varied widely, right? Historically speaking, we've had periods where polygamy in its various forms was widely accepted, even valued in some instances, right? Especially, so polygamy is, when we say polygamy, a lot of people think we're referring to, which is really the situation of having more than one partner, but it also varies, because you have polygamy in the sense of polygyny, which is where a man can have multiple wives. You have polyamory, where a woman can have multiple husbands. And then you have polyandry, where two or more people decide to be in a consensual relationship. I don't know how that works. Thruples, 4 people, 5. Find 6 people all dating each other, and it's open and they are accepting. So that's polyandry. And anthropological evidence suggests that most of the early human systems, anthropologically speaking, most of the early human systems in history were heavily governed by polygamous relationships, especially polygyny. I've not seen a lot of instances where polyamory is widely accepted. That's when women have multiple partners. But polygyny was the most famous and most widely accepted form of polygamy, where men had multiple wives. And a lot of this occurred especially in instances where wealth and power allowed men or women to cater for multiple partners. Monogamy actually came in a little bit later as systems and societies started to get more structured, especially in relation to things like inheritance, in relation to things like societal norms. That's when monogamy started to become a thing. So I was reading up on it, and somewhere historians wrote that monogamy was actually less about romance and more about structure. We've also seen it in religion. I think Christianity, a big part of Christianity preaches monogamy. Of course, in the Old Testament, we have standout figures like Solomon and David. But for majority of Christianity, a lot of monogamy is preached. You can hear in the story of Genesis, Adam and Eve, and the two will become one in flesh. So a lot of monogamy, especially in New and Old Testament. In Islam, I think in Islam, we take it a little bit out of context, because people will say, no, Islam allows for polygamy and polygyny. But I think that the key notes to take away from Islam, and Zahara could correct me if I'm wrong, is that polygyny, when the man is allowed to marry more than one wife, so up to 4 wives, the condition is you have to be able to treat them all equally and fairly, not so? Yeah, and you have to have the resources to take care. So it's not that one of them is better than the other. You have to be able to take care of them. You have to treat them fairly and equally. And I think that's the tidbit that a lot of people don't pay attention to when they're discussing the aspects of polygamy in Islam. When we go to African culture, let's first talk about African culture for a second. we all know that our culture, in our culture, polygamy, especially polygyny, where men have multiple wives, that was widely accepted. It was widely valued. It was even, it was a show of wealth. It was a show of social standing, a show of societal power. And then, you move fast forward to the introduction of Christianity, and when, the onset of colonization, and then teach me how to be like you and I can rule you. So we started taking up a lot of Western ideologies, most of which were being dictated by Christianity at the time, and that's when monogamy became a thing in Africa. But I think even to this day, there are still instances where in African culture, we have the practice of polygamy in its various forms, and still we also have instances where monogamy is widely considered acceptable. So I think as African culture, even in the modern day and age, we're skirting that line, But I think in the modern age now, monogamy is a big thing, right? It's, that's where you have the whole men are trash and fear women and all that thing. I think all of that is grounded in monogamy, and whether your ability to stick to your values in terms of entertaining one partner. However, we have slowly started to see the rise of polygamous relationships come up again. Although these days we have very fancy terms for them, like open relationships. Where we have open relationships where, you can go and do as many things as you want with as many people as you want, as long as at the end of the day you come back to me. We're having polyandry becoming a thing. Thruples these days are a big thing. You see two women dating one man, or two men dating one woman, and it's consensual and all that. And so I think throughout the age of time, we have been faced with that question. Is monogamy a naturally occurring? Is it a naturally existing phenomenon, especially for us as a human race? So we are not going to go so much into so many questions. I just want to get your opinion on that particular matter. Is it a naturally occurring phenomenon for human beings, especially we're not going to talk about animal species, animals, because penguins met for life, lions get whoever they want. So for them, their things vary widely. But for humans, is it naturally occurring for us to be monogamous, or are we a society that has been forced into this particular way of life? Because, like I had mentioned earlier, because of things like societal order and societal structures and things like that. And if indeed monogamy is the way to go, then how do we navigate modern day relationships in that sense? But let's first start with, is it, for lack of a better word, is it a hoax? Does it occur naturally to us as human beings?
First of all, I'm very disappointed I've not yet seen the red moon, but...
Oh yes, the red moon.
Let's be honest. Yeah, monogamy is a hoax. No one is going to lie to me and say because. Now, historically, I had to, because I can't pronounce some names, I had to. When we look at what we are calling the Himalayas, that's what it's always been, especially women having multiple husbands.
That was in heavily matriarchal societies, right?
Yeah. Bhutan.
Oh, in the Himalayas and of the Bhutan, so the women were allowed to have multiple husbands.
Yep.
So they practiced polyamory.
Sri Lanka. Mm-hmm. Until 1859, when the British abolished it. Mm. Which brings me to our next response to that answer. Why we are saying monogamy? Religion. Yeah? Colonialism. It came with these things. The ones who did not say monogamy said polygamy, but for the man. See, we choose as a society to structure a system that suits us, whatever, in the times. Even the women, and we've known of so many, even, example, old Arabia before Islam or Arabic systems came through, what we call the old Arabia. Women used to do what? To choose their husbands. In Africa here, yes, there's been a lot of communities in the past before what we know as the Africa today, before the Egypt and Ethiopia, before all of that we are seeing today or in the past, in the recent history.
Generally pre-colonial Africa.
Yes, even way before that, yeah, where that these things keep coming back. Nothing is new under the sun. We've had societies where the biggest number was women. They chose the men. It was like a ritual. If you're good at what you're doing,
natural selection. Yeah.
If they don't appreciate, you get. And then someone also fought to that era, and then we came to this one also that we are talking about. So we just keep going back and forth. So it depends. Everyone has their era and what suits them. The war is fought. Whoever wins, that's theirs. That one also, now we're already, it's not a war really, but what I'm trying to say is, currently we're seeing people saying, hey, and for me, where it comes from, monogamy is it's not in science. I keep telling people, if it's not in the biology, it's not a fact.
Why would you say it's not in science?
It's not in the biology that monogamy is what we should be as a human race.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the biology. Otherwise, if you slept with someone today, you'd be like what did you say?
The penguins.
Met for life.
Yeah, they met for life.
Or I find the next guy, I get allergies. Some rare sickness, man.
They're called STIs.
No, you can't. No, not even that. Let me tell you. So basically, your body would reject because that's not how it should be. The only debate now and why we are here is because times have changed. Another person, I like to have different theories, will tell you that was a way of controlling the numbers. Family planning. Controlling the numbers. Because, the more children, you see, most of these men who have many wives, ask them, not less than 10, 20. All those are children. Why?
You know what's funny?
You're the one here like this.
What's funny is I read somewhere that a lot of the monogamous structures, especially around polygyny, that's men having multiple wives, were rescinded to reduce competition among men for spouses.
Yeah.
Because then what happened is the men with the most wealth, the men with the most power, or the men with the most physical ability tended to have all the partners to themselves, leaving alone, what they would call lesser men. Yeah.
I think the one thing we've talked about here on the talk track over and over again is power. Who's in control? That's why you see, when it is allowed, it has to suit someone in the current setting. When it is not, let me tell you, people are out here being polygamous. And the other one. People are out here being polygamous, then they go back to their homes and sit. That's why every day we are there watching cheaters. Yeah? We are there watching. Hey, I read the message. Even men are reading messages these days. I see people are reading messages. You pull people's phones. But anyway,
you'll find what you're looking for.
It is not something we can say that it is
inherent
and natural for human beings.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'd not be attracted to the next person. You get the fact that you have the ability to find something in someone else that you're attracted to. In your whole lifetime, I swear they should show me that person. Most of us walking this earth. Okay, to be fair, for some people, maybe they are just getting into the field. Two, you've dated got two people in your whole life. If that was the case, see, there's the way the body works. If it is not meant to be, it will not be.
Yeah.
It sort of rejects or ejects. Your body responds even before the brain. So, it is a hoax. It is a hoax. Because, tell me why we are saying monogamy, we are lying to ourselves. You go, you note. But why are we choosing? The whole even tying the knot is just to mark. Because the guy may go the other side or the chick may go the other side. Some people used to do blood oaths, generations and generations and generations.
Of structures designed to enforce a system that, in your opinion, is not natural to us.
It's not.
So all these systems, the vows, the blood oaths...
Someone is benefiting from this system.
Okay.
The difference is, when we do things and make systems, over time, because there's always change, it begins to become evident that, is this supposed to be like this? Someone's going to question, someone's going to have evidence, someone's going to have some sort of, this doesn't add up, you get? And also different designs of societies, so they are not the same. As we get older, as the world gets, new, they call them the new worlds every now and then. That's why you can see us talking about, in our days, even our parents, in our days, every generation has told the young generation, what is wrong with this generation? Because so many things change the systems we've put. We are forgetting there are going to be external factors that change them. So for me, unless you're giving me evidence, biology, monogamy, it's just us choosing to not have our hearts broken, and because we are jealous beings, we want to be in charge and in control.
Okay.
But it came with religion, and in two forms. Monogamy came with Christianity, yes, and those that say it's okay chose the one in power in that time to have that, what they would call luxury.
Does anyone have hoaxes? So Lorena has said it is a hoax. It is not naturally occurring, and all the systems we've designed to reinforce monogamy are simply done so because we as human beings inherently know that is not a system that comes naturally to us. I don't know if anyone else has a differing view. Are there people who are pro-monogamy? Monogamy is actually something that we as human beings have adapted to accept, or it has been a system that has been, inherent in our societal developments, in our developments as human beings from the dawn of time. A big thing I've been thinking about really is changing structures. Every era of development, of growth, of civilization that we've been through as human beings came with its specific rules for survival, right? And you find that in ancient African tradition, as a man, you had to work hard. You had to be a person of a certain stature for you to be able to get a partner and things like that. Things in even ancient Egyptian civilization, things in ancient Roman civilization and all that, where, a partner was a reward for your ability to be something or someone in society. A majority of the time, and again, this is what confuses me a little bit, and I'd like you guys to touch on it a bit more. You found that even back, let's talk about like the Roman Empire. You'll find like an emperor had a wife, like recognized, but then they were allowed to have a litany of concubines and whatever we call them back in the day. These days we call them side pieces. It's very, very, I don't like that term. Side piece. Concubine was much better. It gave it respect. Because people would walk around the streets actually going, I'm the king's concubine. And it was a thing. So, generally with growing, with every generation, every civilization we've gone through, we've come through, we've seen changes in survival norms. But let's talk about the modern day and age. What does monogamy look like in today's world, especially, with the advent of social media, with easy access to everyone and everything? What does monogamy look like in this day and age?
Quickly. You know the song Secret Lovers? That is the monogamy. You get it? It's like saying we have a picture we are putting, but behind the picture, the real behind the picture. It's like when we say movies were nice when we didn't know the stunts and the things they were doing behind the scenes. Yeah? And this is what is happening to the monogamy today. We are beginning to see the behind the scenes. For centuries and centuries and centuries, we've had men and women have their, you've had people talk about, if it's the woman, maybe she has gone shopping. If it's the man, safari, I've gone with my secretary. That is what is happening. And the funny part is, there's the last one among the, the polygamy you gave. She mentioned it. A
polyamory, the one where...
It is already happening.
Yeah, two or more people in a consensual relationship have... Yeah.
That's why we have, not adverts, infomercials and for HIV and AIDS. The sexual network. It is there. Only that we are not openly. We are doing what they say, don't show your dirty linen to the public.
The linen, actually, it's like that saying, there are some things you can't hide from the public because it is evident and anyone can read about it. Just because I don't know who is fooling who, that we are choosing to be foolish. Like you say something and you assume you've not seen it, but in reality, it is happening. And I don't know who should advise us and get us back on the right track, because this, like, for example, you said the sexual network and all that, multiple parties are involved, but no one is willing to pull out. So people are just comfortable. No, yeah, some people are comfortable. I don't know if it's the new normal or something is wrong with us, but like we need to get back to the basics. Otherwise, like right now, no one, I think maybe an animal, but human beings, even in churches and mosques, people are dating different partners. As you said, on trips, everywhere, pastors are going with their fellow, I don't know what.
Ushers.
Exactly.
It's normally the ushers.
And then when you get to social community, it is worse. So basically, I think in today, we don't have anything like one Philip, one partner.
One Philip, one partner. Philip, what do you think? What does monogamy look like, especially in the modern era of community and society these days? Because a lot of what we've seen is, what's interesting is the more recent we've come into society, the more monogamy has become a big thing, right? Like, oh, you get married to one wife, or get married to one husband, or do this or do that, or be loyal till death do you part, and all that. But it seems that in a day and age where monogamy is supposed to be this thing that holds communities and societies together, it has become one of the most trampled upon values. So what does monogamy look like from your opinion, Philip, in this modern day and age? And does it even exist?
Yeah, the last question is the core. But one, I would love to acknowledge that these days marriages, because in this case we are referring to people that are married, right?
Yeah, we can talk about people who are married. We can also talk about people who have decided to be in serious committed relationships.
Yeah, people who are committed in some way. So I'm looking at a situation where monogamy has become ceremonial. Like if I have my wife, we have all been to functions where someone is given the microphone to introduce themselves and they're like, yeah, my name is Philip and I'm happily married to one woman. And together we have 4 children. We have been married for 3 years. But my friends around me know that I'm not happily married to one woman. They know that I'm married to that woman, and that woman will appear to be alone in the ceremonies.
Yeah.
Because I cannot keep introducing myself that I'm Philip and I'm having 5 women, and one is in Nalia, and you get it. So monogamy has kind of and be it in Christianity, everywhere. I believe, because we have seen these things in church, we have seen these things everywhere. People are choosing, people are throwing parties, people are doing weddings with that woman that the world will know, the parents will know, but behind, a lot has been happening and a lot is still happening. So to me, in the modern, because back then, I want to believe that back then, people were a bit open. If the guy gets another woman, we'll sit down all the women and like, yeah, this lady is part of you, and wakuna, and she's doing what you people failed to do back then. But now we are celebrating monogamy, and we are celebrating it in lies, because we all know what is happening. It is really hard. It is really hard. It is really hard to find. Loyalty is very expensive, by the way. So it is really hard to find someone that is saying, me, this is the woman. Or me, this is. But it also applies to women. It also applies to women. There are women who can be married, and then deep down she knows that this is not the only guy. So monogamy in the modern, no. To me, I feel like it's ceremonial.
It is ceremonial. Eh?
Yeah.
Hey, Olivia has been saying things there. Olivia, what do you want to say? What do you want to say?
No, but you guys, at least let's just at least be positive somehow. Even if 0.01%, there are those people who are committed. No, don't say zero. They are committed and they are willing to move through thick and thin with a particular partner. Now, in that, let me say 1%, half of it, somewhere, especially, okay, like remember as you grow, you tend to settle. Now, if you get married like at 30, between 30 and 40, there you have options and you can run it up and down. But when you get to 48,
They do. You mentioned.
no, high chances are at that point in time, you're like, for better for worse, I think this is it. Let me pack and relax.
Go.
Yeah. But for the meantime, in our age bracket and the people below us, I think no one is willing to settle because we have this thing that are not settling for less. I don't know who determines what is the threshold of less bare minimum or what. Yeah. So that's why I think it is a hoax.
Okay. All right. Let's actually now talk about this whole aspect, monogamy, polygamy, in regards to morality, right? Because you find that a lot of times we tie one of these two instances to an aspect of morality. Like if you decided you're going to be loyal to one person, that for some reason makes you more morally upstanding than someone who has decided that they're going to be openly tell the world, you know what? I have a wife, but I also have a girlfriend, and I have, by the way, a girlfriend and a side dish are very different. And so, such a person, and it's not that they're even hiding. Maybe we can talk about the people who are hiding it, and they say maybe there's a little bit of embarrassment, so maybe you are doing something wrong, but what even makes it wrong? You get like that's the thing where I want us to discuss a bit. Is polygamy inherently wrong, or have we just made monogamy a thing that everyone should look up to?
Personally, I think polygamy is wrong. Like
in all its forms.
In all its forms. In all its forms, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Monogamy is what is the right thing we should be doing.
Okay.
But because of our often selfish interests, because you get married to this guy, you realize something is missing. You see this one has more body than he. You're like, how does it feel if you sleep with this one now? So really it's this one has more nyash, and now this one, I thought she was beautiful, but then this one.
Yeah.
So that's why for me I feel, another thing that usually leads to people sleeping out or making polygamy normal. If you hear often people are like, our fathers say, different women come with different juices. Then different children from different mothers. You never put your smanya in one pot, one basket. Because different children, the smartness and everything. Yeah. So when you look at the reasons why people are hyping polygamy, it's all selfish desires.
Okay, so let me first stop you right there. Now, let's look at it from two different points of view, right? When you find someone who has grown up in the traditional sense, and because we're all Africans, let's talk about the African traditional sense. So this person has not been exposed to maybe doctrines of Christianity or Islam, and they've grown up in the sense where for them polygamy is normal, for them polygamy is always been a way of life. He has grown up, his great-grandfather had 4 wives. His grandfather had 6. His father has 8. So for him, inherently, it's okay for me to have 9, 10, 12 wives, right? When you look at that from that person's point of view, is polygamy wrong? From that person's point of view, because
well, I think first of all, before we get to religion and all that, it gets down to mindset. Remember the upbringing of that particular person. Like now in a tradition form, they are okay with it, provided, remember also the ladies, to submit to somebody when you know that they have someone already, that means you're mentally okay with it and emotionally. So that means that whoever is into that arrangement, they are fine with it. Now when it comes, yeah, exactly, now when it comes to religion, like I, me being a Muslim, okay, for Islam polygamy is okay up to 4, but now
as long as
as long as I was going down that lane, up to 4, as long as you're able to provide for them, and then you have to seek consent from the first way for the ladies before. Now, but when it comes to the personal opinion, as me, I don't buy it because of my selfish interests, maybe.
you don't buy monogamy, you don't buy polygamy.
I don't buy polygamy.
You don't buy polygamy. Olivia wanted to say something.
I just wanted, the way she said, when someone comes, like in our local setting, because I've worked with these women where the husband has this car heart, mad heart, is this wife, then the other one is the other wife, and then the other one is the other house, the other wife, and these women live in this locality, and they know each other, and they consented to get into this marriage. But when you talk with them, because all the men in this village are doing the same thing, they are accepting to go into these marriages because there is no option. Like, it's clear you cannot find a man for yourself, only for you. But if you ask those women, they will tell you, if at all I would get a man for myself, I'd go for it. But just because it's the what society has sold, we settle for it, but we don't like it. So that makes polygamy really, it's never right.
So, Olivia, is monogamy a hoax or not? Is monogamy a hoax?
It depends on individuals.
Okay.
But I don't think it is.
You don't think it is? Okay.
I just wanted to say something small. You see, by the time when they reach that point of disagreeing and feeling maybe they settled for less, it's because a man, in this context, a man has failed to fulfill their expectations. Because not everyone in a particular village, not everyone then in our tradition setting that had multiple wives or 10 or something. Maybe the others ones who had 1, 2, or depending on your ability and capacity to provide. But then you get into something and what you expected is not what you're getting. I think that's when, because in the first place they wouldn't. Someone has already 10 wives, why would you become the 11th one? Because you expect things will be different, which is not. But if all women, there are situations when somebody has particular number of women, 2 or 3, but when they are content, because he's trying to balance and provide, make them understand that I'm your man and I'm giving you equally shares,
Yeah.
So I think it comes down to your mindset and how do you view the world and your perception towards everything.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we must first address our minds to the fact that the whole idea of whether polygamy or monogamy is a hoax is directly connected to, first of all, your perception. We have different thoughts and how we look at things differently. And also, secondly, about how the society in which you are brought up. If you are brought up in a polygamy family or in a monogamous family, you'd have different perspectives. They might vary. And also, we must also agree to the fact that there are some policies that have been and rules that have been set to us by the so-called superiors. That's to say the cultural leaders. This also sets up the modus operandi for us in our daily operations and how we view either of the two.
Yeah.
That's so on that ground is where I would me be of an opinion that neither of the two is actually a hoax. It's basically all about perception, having looked at the specific reasons. Yeah.
So speaking of especially now perception, and my next question was actually going to be around exposure. Exposure, because you've noticed that for majority of the times we've spoken about polygamy, we've spoken about it in the context of a very rural African setting, right? Yeah, which means I think we have all deeply acknowledged, whether we want it to or whether we want to admit it or not, that in the more urban African settings, there is either less likely to be more open instances of polygamy, or it's going to be polygamy but on the down low, right? And so we are all living under the facade, for lack of a better word, of monogamy. But what role does exposure in its various forms, whether it's education, whether it's travel, whether it's access to social media or internet, what role does exposure play in the acceptance of either polygamy or monogamy as a social construct?
I think exposure actually does a very big role, because now, for example, if you're brought up in a polygamous family, due to some maybe challenges that you've been facing as you're being brought up, it may make you become a totally different person at the end of the day. And then also, you can look at it, maybe someone can be like, my dad had 6 wives, why not me? You understand? So the exposure and how you perceive things, if it had a positive or negative impact, then it will lead you to being who you are at the end of the day. And then also, remember, as you said, I don't know why Roy?
Yeah.
English has failed. I was going to say mahogany.
Which one is that? That one. Which one? Polyamory, polyandry, or polygyny?
No.
Eh.
Monogamy. Yeah.
Monogamy. You're going to say mahogany?
Okay, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, now, some people might wish to be loyal to a particular fiancé, but however, due to the people that are surrounding us, group influence, trying to explore new things, so that's when people tend to do it. Because sometimes people can be like, I'm sticking to this one partner. At the end of the day, due to the influence and how you're being exposed around, then you end up getting a second one. But again, they were like, why did I do it? Then you get back in place. So exposure is really, really key in everything.
I'm thinking exposure, it all gets back to personal character. Because however exposed, yeah. No, because however exposed I am, yeah, true, but however exposed I am, right, I'll attach it to circumcision. There are boys who think that men are born like that. Yeah, because circumcised. That's how men are supposed to be. Because that's how they have grown up, and everyone they have been around looks like that. If I was maybe circumcised at around 3 weeks, and I've grown up in school, all the boys that I've been sharing the bathroom with are looking like that. How when am I going to think that men are not supposed to be like that? So it gets to, if I've grown up in maybe a polygamous family, and I've been exposed to variety of stuff, if that's exposure that you mean. I've been exposed to, I've been exposed. I've known what it means to have one woman and what comes with having one woman. I've known what it means to have multiple women and what can come with it. I believe that's my understanding of exposure. Now, I don't think that, why I'm saying it gets back to personal character and it's a decision that I can make as a person. I really don't think that after understanding everything, I'll decide to have, for example, if my buddy has 3 women, this guy is financially okay, and I've been hanging out with the guy for a long time. I've seen how he has treated all his women, and even the power is okay. And I'm the guy who is, something is wrong with finance and power. Because it is very hard for you to not to have the money and have the authority to do what? To get more than 2 women in this era. Because on what grounds? What are you telling? What are you going to feed this other woman if you're not even supplying enough to the what? So however exposed I am, I think it will get back to my personal character. Me, the Philip. Okay, I'm exposed. People have been doing this and this. I've seen, I've read people are supposed to do this. I've seen everything on social media. But how able am I to do that? That must be burning, eh?
No, because me, I feel like what I've been exposed to as Ms. Zahara is what has shaped me, who I am. So now, even if I know that the 2 sides of a coin plus the age, but it's what I've been shown, that's what I've grown up seeing. That means whether I choose to have one woman, one man, or whatever, it's because of what I've been brought up seeing and happening around me. So that means there is nothing to do with character. Otherwise, for example, here you in Uganda, how we do our things, how we do our things totally different from somebody in America. You understand? Because their kind of lifestyle is different from ours. So now, if you went there, you would be a different Philip. But
Very different. Olivia was dying. And as you guys keep talking, Rowena, as you think about that point, let me just present to you our closing question, and then you guys can hop into that after you've both given your submissions. I've been thinking about a lot about this, and we all have to admit there is a double standard when it comes to monogamy and polygamy. So, my question is, why do you think that monogamy is often held to different standards for men and women? And do you believe that those double standards have changed or are changing in today's world? So again, I'll ask the question, why do you think monogamy is often held to different standards for men and women? And do you believe that those double standards are changing or have changed in today's world? But that is after both of your submissions.
No, I wanted to wait. As he was talking, at first I was disagreeing with him because you guys exposure has made me imagine things, has made me think, okay, that's possible. Okay, that's okay. Okay, I want to try that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, things that if you take me maybe 10 years back, I'll be like, what? But now the fact that I'm even seeing myself in that shoe, I'm like, okay, all right, that is continuous. So exposure has played a very big role in us accepting whatever monogamy or polygamy.
Yeah.
So I think where I agreed with him is now personal character kicks in. Character kicks in what the beliefs are. How will I feel after this thing? I feel like it's nice to actually do A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
But how am I going to feel after that A, B, C, D as me now? Now it comes back to my character.
Yeah.
So I feel character always No, I kind of feel like it comes in. The person comes in, who you are.
Yeah.
So to answer the last question, why the women don't...
Why are there double standards held when it comes to men and women in regards to monogamy, and have those standards changed?
Yes, there's always been the double standard, and this has already favored, the polygamy has always favored men. It's something for men, and women know. And as we all now agree, our forefathers, the men of that day, were pure selfish people. Everything good was wished for them, and women were put somewhere and closed, So we all know that was a lie. And I'm telling you, because we know, it has changed a lot.
Okay.
Women are polygamous.
It's women
in a way of...
women in male fields.
Women in male fields. Actually, women have dominated. How I realized that, there is 2 years back when men were doing DNAs, I also fainted. And then there is this show of Judge Judy.
Yeah.
Always the men are not the fathers of these children. Like always, I follow that show. So women have actually excelling in this field than men currently, though we think men are.
I love that has come from a woman, because I've often told people this. Women cheat as much as men do. It's just that they're more tactical in how they do it. Yeah, just more tactical. So, Rowena, yes, you had the submission, but then you can also answer the other question.
I'm going to... Please help me here.
Yeah.
Give me a definition of monogamy.
I give you a definition of monogamy. As it's societally accepted, or just generally?
Generally.
Okay, monogamy, generally speaking, is the practice of having one partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
That means none of us has been monogamous. I don't care if it has been one at a time.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's literally Hoax. This is not who we are. Guys.
Otherwise, that one would have been the one all through.
You would not even start seeing in the... Now this one is no longer...
There would be no breakups, no exes, nothing.
Okay, maybe there is another the one. Because... honestly.
You have for the ones.
Yes, we are not monogamous. We have people's DNAs. Okay, that sounded wrong, sir. Mr. Producer, so Jaka editing. Now, okay, here's the thing. And for me, I told you, this thing is just about power. Whoever is in charge in the moment is the one that
dictates the rules, sets the rules, and set the standards.
At the point we were speaking, for me, why I'm insisting on religion, when Christianity came, they told us we have to be monogamous. They even banned the polygamy on behalf of us. You
guys don't need this.
Yeah.
They didn't even ask us.
They didn't ask us.
They were just like, no,
they
you don't need.
Now we're already polygamous.
Then they were like, you don't need it.
It's like saying you can't eat the mango from this tree. Eat from this tree.
When you've been eating that from that tree for a while.
So anyway, and when religion came with it, like I said, each religion comes with its own perks and
Yeah.
So, but we looked at one of them saying, guys, it's monogamy, monogamy. The other one said, it's okay, because you remember all of these people are the ones in power.
Yeah.
The other one said, it's okay, but we need to have the guy. Yes, the guy can. You understand? They even tell you, don't worry, he can have 4. Now we've literally taught. It's now something that we have sort of, when you grow knowing that this is, if someone tells me that this one here, that this is glass, I will grow up knowing, glass. Today I was quite disappointed, and usually it's because we've been taught these things. I had someone commenting on a certain couple that celebrity couple, and someone said, don't what? Another woman said, it's okay, coming from girls, okay, because they've been told that the man can do it.
But the woman can't.
Yes, they said, no, the man can do it as long as he keeps the respect for her.
So you are of the view that the double standards still exist and it has never changed.
It has never changed. And you know why we're having the double standards, okay? We said monogamy, right? Then after I said, but, they said, there's always but a man is a man.
Yeah.
Okay? It is in man's nature. So why are you telling me monogamy? And the man can't keep up with monogamy because it's in his nature. So that means it is no monogamy. It is a hoax.
It is a hoax. Okay, we're slowly...
And that's why I said, even us, we had a time in the matriarchal society.
Yeah, where you were
where
free
we
to...
still did the same.
Yeah, you had to get the best DNA
So
to get
whoever
sons.
has the power sets the rules. And in this case, it is religion and the patriarchal system.
Yeah?
You get?
Yeah.
None of us has been monogamous.
All right, so we're running out of time. I don't know, maybe one more submission before we can close it out. I need the men to talk about the double standards. Because the way they all kept quiet.
I'm sorry, I forgot one thing. Do you know that, and it's still common today, when they would say, the man would start calling, Mama Gundi, warning.
Yeah.
There's always an exit and Gund. They knew. Yeah? They knew they were on a sexual network.
Yeah.
Mama Gundi, or you hear someone whistling. I don't know how to whistle. Tata Gundi atuse. Vice versa. These people knew these things. That's what we know.
So generally everyone is just saying it's a hoax, except for Zahara. Zahara and Olivia were like, monogamy is not a hoax.
No, it is not. No, it is not a hoax, but it depends on what percentage, as I said. So, if only we realize and stop living a life of pretense, then we shall be true to ourselves. That's why people are pretending to be like you're having one life partner, yet they're doing a lot of shit behind the curtains.
Oh, by the way, yeah, that's also a thing. That's a thing.
Yes. And then also, do you know, men in a family, a man can know that children, a particular child is not theirs, but they will just ignore, like actually just not pay attention. Yet they know something is going down behind their back. Both parties. Today I was reading a story. This woman sleeps with a friend to the husband, and after 23 years, that's when 27, that's when they realize the child now is the one who realized that the father is not his father. Yeah. You understand? So basically, I think we should be true to ourselves. That's when we can say that. But for now, I don't know. I'm having mahogany in my head. Yeah. But whatever that word is, it is a hoax.
Yeah, final one.
The men, our grandfathers, you ask them, okay, they may not be here. They have always known. The difference today is that we have DNA, but they've always known.
Yeah.
And the difference, they will know and keep quiet, because what will people say? A man will bring you the children because they have told him he's a man after all. If it was the same kind of system the man was in, the man would also be having children from other women and he would never say.
Yeah.
The only reason the men actually come out is because of what we have already said. It's in men's nature. A man is a man. So it's easier for the man to bring you a child that's not yours.
So again, back to the question, the double standards haven't changed. We do acknowledge the existence of the double standards. Olivia said they are changing. Women have become better at doing this other thing than men are. But generally speaking, with the way you framed it, saying if really we were truly a monogamous, and I never thought about it that way, because foxes, albatrosses, penguins, those animals that are in lifelong monogamous relationships, it's that first mate that they get is the mate for life, right? And then for human beings, 4 times, 5 times, X number none.
No, I think because as we've been given the ability to think and question, that's why people want to explore and try out new things. Even if you're here comfortable, like, what if what will happen? You'd want to explore, try something crazy. Yeah. That's the main reason. Otherwise, if we're animals, when Okay, I don't know how they reason, but I think they're like, this is it, and this is how it shall be.
Ah,
but for
right.
us, we have that thing of wanting to know
Yeah.
what happens, what is it, you know? I think that's the whole reason why we are doing all this nonsense.
Okay. Hey, you guys, time. Okay, Philip, one last submission.
Okay.
In a minute. You have a minute.
Okay. It may even be less.
Eh.
But getting back to that, yeah, I'm thinking, like you've said, a fox, if it's that, it's that. The difference is, for us, it's a try and error. It is very hard for me. For them, they Malaga decide. For us, we take time
Malaga
and
decide.
think. We take time and think about, because as you're still in the process of deciding, the woman is asking you, if I become a cockroach, would you still love me? Now you're like, you get. So, okay, by nature, but next Sunday.
Next. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Become a cockroach.
Women, don't ask men if you become cockroaches whether they'll still love you. We shall still love you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for that. I don't know if we should continue this conversation next Sunday again. I don't know if you guys are ready to have that submission. There is where the men kept quiet. When I asked about double standards, they just decided to keep quiet. They're like, they're not digging their graves here. I appreciate that. That is knowing your battles. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for spending your time with us here this evening. My name is Ray. I've been your host for the evening. Shout out to Maurice aka Moro for shooting, producing, who is going to voice, edit, and everything. So shout out to Maurice. Shout out to the Bar House for giving us the space to be able to do this every Sunday. Shout out to Mama Barrow for giving us the opportunity to do this every Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you all next Sunday. Have a lovely weekend. Shout out to the Uganda Cranes for their big win over the weekend. Yeah, I should have said that at the start, but shout out to the Uganda Cranes. So, and there's another match tomorrow. Yeah, there's another match tomorrow. But shout out to all of you, and thank you for being here with us. My name is Roy. Shout out to the Kara Junkies. We'll see you all next Sunday. Have a lovely week. Go with the Lord. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. Peace out.